Welcome back, Commanders. So, for a while, I've wanted to do some profiles of people that I've met along the way in playing this game and show off just some of their leadership styles. And for those that aren't leaders, just show off some of their the way they communicate or what goes on, or just some of the workings around friendships that are built within this game. Now, I played WoW for about 10 years, and obviously we have huge long-standing friendships there, and that's just something that was built over time and through experience and through shared experiences, and you had stories and you had everything else. This game brings out really odd types of friendships and odd types of bonding. It really doesn't make a lot of sense in the real world as it does in here. So the first person that I'm going to kind of profile or take a look at is the first person that really I became cross-server friends with through Arena. And for me, I spend a lot of time in Arena. I am not obviously the best at Arena. I don't have the skill set or the level for it. And so when I was doing better, or when I was keeping up, it's kind of the place where deals get made, where you start to really meet people because you see the same people and compete against the same people every single week. There's usually just a rotation of 3 to 4 kind of rotations, and you'll just run into the same people over and over again. And those results start to become different. So, I mean, like last week, we're back up against 1145 and 44 and 47. Now, in 1145, we are very familiar with Face Puncher and Unhai. And so I have, through my time with them, or through my time in Arena, gotten to know them. It's just kind of the nature of the game. You see them take a huge power spike, and you want to compliment them on it because you know how much money it takes, and you know their dedication and what they do for it. And you actually want to see them grow, or you want to see that power jump up. You want to see like what they're capable of. So for me, my first person that I really got to know and understand was Mr. Justice. Now, back before he was Mr. Justice, he was the Executioner. And I believe before that, he was the Reaper. And so I've known him in 3 different kind of instances, and in each one, it's kind of been a different moment or momentum. And what's actually really cool about this game is not only are you getting friends from across servers, but you're getting totally different cultures in here. You're getting different ideas. You're getting different understandings. I am learning very quickly that when you deal with people from other countries, that they don't make deals like they do in America. You can't make the same kind of deals where you say, hey, if you do this, we'll do this. It's some of it's more honor based, or some of it's more just kind of understood like you do that for a friend. A great example again, and I will talk about him later, is Qatar Hot Rod. And the stuff that he does, or that he thinks is good, he just does it out of respect, or he just does it because of friendship. And the friendships that we have, none of us are talking to each other. This is just typing back and forth. But it's something that I think we all understand. We're in a really weird game where we spend a lot of money and we have a lot of time, and that time is spent just beating up on each other. So the reason I bring up Justice, first of all, is that when he was the Executioner and when he was the Reaper, he was beatable. Like, he was just kind of getting his, kind of his feet wet there in Arena, and Shirk and I would beat him. Like, it was fine. And he was a super good sport about it. Like, we'd even, go back and forth. And there was another guy named Cuddy Curry that we would also fight at this time. And we all seemed to end up together quite often. And what's cool about it, or what was cool about Justice, is when he was the executioner and moving over to Justice, is that he was always willing to listen and learn, and he was somebody that when you talk to, again, you didn't make a deal with him. Like there was no deal. There was no, hey dude, if you do this, I'll do this. He would do it out of friendship or respect, and that was it. There was no, hey man, if you do this, I'll take care of this guy and we'll knock this guy back or anything else. It was just straight up, hey man, you're my friend or you're not my friend, and this is what we do. And so what I've learned a lot, again, in dealing with other cultures, and I can show you a couple of samples from our discussions back and forth. Number one, I swear either the translator in this game is broken, or again, American and English euphemisms or the way we speak just does not translate well at all into other languages. So one example I have is, and this is why, again, it's just such a weird game. For us to really bring and recruit troops and have full garrisons and everything else, like I need to fill 36,000 T10 troops. All right. To even get one group of troops going takes a day. Okay. It takes a day and a half. Or I have to pay 5,000 diamonds. If I lose all of my troops each week and I need to fill 36,000 troops back up by the next week, it's going to take diamonds. Like there's not enough speed ups to do any of this. And so when you start averaging out the amount of diamonds that are there, I mean, it costs real world money. So what I think is so crazy and or special about this is an example is like the last server war that we had was against 1148. Okay. That's Justice's server. And as we're leading up to it, we were talking back and forth, like, he'll tell me like, hey, don't run. And I think that that's like something that's in fun, where it'll just be like, oh yeah, dude, I'm not going to run. I'm going to stand up to you. This is no big deal. And in saying that, that does not come through the same, depending upon who you're talking to. And so I'll just show you a quick example of this. So this is a lesson learned. As he's telling me that, hey, don't run, we want to fight. And I tell him back, I don't want you telling anyone we didn't respond and we don't rally. And you can post on the wall, you can rally against us, see if it's good practice for us. Like in my mind, when I'm saying these things, and again, when I say this to anybody else that English is their first language, they would understand like this is me just talking back to them like, hey, this is going to be really good. Saying like, hey, I'm really happy that, you guys are a big, powerful server and that always makes the game more fun. I can only speak for Zion when we are 7 people and we have no problem if you want to bring us your 100. That is fun for us. And unfortunately, again, I don't know if it's the translation or if it's just the culture difference, but it's not heard the same depending upon who you're talking to. And so for Justice, he'll say like he doesn't understand. And if I'm challenging him, and that puts a lot of stress on friendships that you have. He says, are you challenging me now or talking to me out of love? Are you writing to me out of love or out of hate? And like, just to say the word hate, is a big deal. And I have to try to explain again, like, I really do love the challenge. I love, when we go up against people like Justice or when we go up against people like Bevins or Unhai, like, I know I'm going to get pounded. I know it's going to cost me money because, again, when they wipe out my troops, I have to come up with 5,000 diamonds about 20 times. So it takes me about 100,000 diamonds or so to get my troops back up each Alliance server war, for each server war. So these last 4 weeks are expensive in getting these things up. But with Justice or with anybody that you talk to, coming across here, that does not always translate. But what's cool about it, and what's cool about him, I will definitely say, is that even after, and they came over and they just beat the tar out of us. And he was cool about not just focusing on me. He let me stand there for a while and take some hits and look cool. But then he came back over at the end and wanted to pose for a picture. Now, again, some people would be like, oh, that's a rubbing in thing. But I really actually saw that as a sign of respect, because he did post this on his wall. And it was a cool moment. Like, not we all, but a lot of us got in here and we posted up and we tried to, look our best. But we knew that it was a fight. We knew what it was. It only took them an hour and 22 minutes. I think they could have done it a lot faster. But I just kept throwing freaking diamonds to, like, revive my guys. And I think that they were just having fun with us and just kind of let us, like, hang out for a little bit. But again, at the end, it really was all love, and that's something that's odd about this game, is because while they are beating us down, it's costing us money, but at the end, we're okay with it. Like, that's so weird to me. And I think that there's a mutual respect, again, with people who do spend money or put these things out there, that we know what's going to spend money. We know we're going to lose to the higher spender, but how do we interact with those people afterwards? And I think that, it's really easy, or it could be really easy for some of these, people that we label as whales to just be jerks. They could just come in and laugh and do all these things and just make us feel bad. But, like, I have found that people like Justice, people like Bevins, people like Unhai, like, there are some really cool people, quality people out there. They will come in and beat your brains in. But at the end of the day, they want you to still have fun playing the game. And so I think it's one of those, just, again, it's a unique experience in playing this game. It's something that can bring out the best in people, the worst in people, everything else. Because, again, what I found are, when you're dealing with somebody like these top people in arenas each week, they are some of the nicest people, and they're respectful, and they will treat you well. And when they beat you, it's just like, hey, respect and love back and forth. But then when you're out and you're, like, fighting 24s and 25s, and they're just talking trash to you the whole time, and they do this, like, LOL thing because they think that, like, you're not, because they think they've emptied their... So here's my example. Okay, I'll just move this person's name out of the way because, again, this is not meant to embarrass them, but it's just meant to show something. So sometimes when you go and you fight in Alliance Wars, or you go and you are fighting Versus Wars, the idea is like, oh, hey, I'll take all my troops off the wall, so therefore they don't score any points, and I don't lose anything. And so sometimes they'll do this, and I'll be attacking them, and they'll, like, do the happy, smiling, funny face, and they'll laugh, and they'll do this LOL stuff, and sometimes they'll, like, DM me and be like, oh, you're such a waste, you wasted this, haha, I didn't lose anything. But what a lot of people don't understand is that if you have people in your drill ground, you're still losing people. Like, that says 416 people in your drill ground, units killed. I will spend 5 stamina every day to kill 416 of your drills. Because for 10 stamina, you have to essentially, actually more than that, you're going to have to retrain an entire squad, if not 2 squads, to replace that. So it's an odd kind of thing when you're dealing with some people who think they've got the game under control. They think, like, they'll mock you or do something like that because they think that they've outsmarted you, but they apparently just don't know how the game works. They don't know what's going on. And this usually happens when, especially a 30, or what is perceived as a whale is fighting somebody lower, and they'll just be like, and they'll think like they're getting the better of you, or, something's going on. It's like, man, sometimes they're right. And again, dude, sometimes I've blown 20 or 30 stamina trying to kill somebody or move somebody back, only to find that they had completely empty everything. But I just wanted them off the page anyway, so like I take it as okay. And I guess the reason again I bring this up is that it's some of the frustrating things that you deal with in Last War, and the reason that a lot of people will quit is because sometimes it just kind of gets old when people are just trying to be rude or mean or trying to show you up or trying to, put things down. And it's comforting for some of us to then go back to where we feel good and where we have people that are like-minded with us that we can kind of gather around. And that's what I have found for myself in the arena. And I look forward to seeing these guys each week, even though, again, I know they're going to beat me. It used to be a thing like with Face Puncher and these guys where it's like, oh, man, I got to get these guys. I got to get these guys. And same with Justice, where it's like, oh, dude, the day I can beat Justice, I'm going to feel great. Man, I'm going to tell you what, there are some people like Justice that I will never catch up with because we used to be the same level. In fact, I was ahead of him for quite a while. And then he just put his foot on the gas and like left me behind. But again, he was cool about it. It was never to show me up. It was never to be like a jerk about it. It was never to make me feel bad. It was just like, and we've talked about this a few times, where it's like, hey man, I will encourage him to keep going because I want to catch up with him. And he'll encourage me like, hey man, you're getting better. Like, keep going, get stronger. And he'll even invite me to attack him. Of course, he can invite me to attack him because he knows like I'm going to get smashed. But like, it's cool. He'll just be like, yeah, go ahead and attack the trains. I know you're going to lose, but you can at least test yourself. And so I would reveal more about him. I don't know a ton about him. I asked some questions because I wanted to do like these profile pieces on each person. He wants to stay a little more private than everybody else. But I do want to just, again, thank him for, what he's done for me in this game and like keeping me involved and keeping me going. And so I would hope that we each can find, or each person can find, the reason you log in or the reason you want to be around these people. Like, I look forward to seeing all these guys each day. Like, I mean, like I said, Chairman Kim, man, Shirk and I used to have like a whole story built up around him. We'll talk about that one probably in the next one or the next two. But, yeah, I wanted to do a little feature piece on people that I'm meeting on different cultures. I will tell you, since meeting Justice, I have talked to a number of Turkish people on this game, and I enjoy the heck out of that culture. It's a very loving culture. It's a very forward culture in the way that they speak and the way they deal with you. There's a lot of like, I love yous. There's a lot of like, brother, like, I love you, brother. I love you, brother. Like, love, love, love. Like, I love you. And it's cool. They are not afraid to express their emotion or their feeling. And at first I didn't quite know how to respond, but Shirk is like, dude, just like, be cool about it. Like, just be like, yeah, hey man, brother. And like, treat them like a brother. And it has like opened up some really cool communications back and forth just in culture that I never knew was there. So this went on longer than I meant it to, and it's not meant to just be like, hey, Justice is the greatest guy in the world. He's a good dude though, and I appreciate him. I really do. And so I think in a couple of days I'm going to do another one on other people. I don't want it to just be like, hey, one or two people. Like, there's 10 or 15 people in this game that I have really appreciated, and they are from all different cultures, all different like opportunities, all the way through. And so I just wanted to kind of focus on a couple of them that really stand out for me. And again, it's not just the idea that this person is high up or that they're moving forward. It's the idea that like, it's a person from a totally different culture. It's the translators on here, like I said, I think are broken. I've actually turned over a lot of my interactions with Justice and other Turkish players to one of our players as a delegate, just to make sure that I was not saying things wrong or being offensive, because you do want to value other people. And obviously you can tell from these videos I like to talk, and not always my talking is not always what people want to hear or understand. So that's just kind of a long way of saying that friendships on this game are cool. They cost you money. You're okay with it. You want to surround yourself with like-minded people. And so if you are somebody who wants to spend and be up here in the arena, you're going to find some really cool quality people. If you're somebody that wants to be free to play and be in world chat and just have this as a data messaging game or a message game, you're going to find great people. You're going to find your people that are great to you and that you're going to really enjoy. So I hope whatever you decide to do in this game, you find people, you enjoy the people you're with, and you try to stay here longer than a month. Because right now it feels like people are dropping left and right, and I am hoping that I get to see these people on this list for the next year or two at least. Like, we're going to hopefully all take this into season 3, and we're all going to be up here, and we're all going to be still challenging each other. Okay? So, it's kind of late in the night. Maybe that's why I'm rambling so much. But I did want this to stand out so that people could see that there are some really cool people and cool opportunities in this game. Tomorrow or the day after, I will cover somebody different. And like I said, this is just, hopefully you can find your own Mr. Justice and your own Bevins and your own Mitrovic and your own Havoc and your own Qatar Hot Rod and your own Unhai and your own Face Puncher and your own Shirk and your own Sister Mama. Like, find those people out there. Find your Volvo Lions. Find your Ronins. Even though Ronin keeps beating the tar out of me lately. Find your Chairman Kims. Find them all. And you can have something really special in this game. Okay, until next time, Commanders.